U.S. military officials say American dominance of the Asia-Pacific is not diminishing. But recent actions by China, including its imposition of an aircraft identification zone over the East China Sea and a near collision between Chinese and U.S. warships, show that dominance is being challenged. The Obama administration is carrying out a rebalance that would shift the focus from wars in Iraq and Afghanistan to the Pacific, where China has been building up its forces, including this new aircraft carrier and the development of hypersonic missile technology. The commander of U.S. forces in the Pacific, Admiral Samuel Locklear, says interactions with Chinese forces in the region will only increase, and he calls for a pragmatic approach that includes boosting military-to-military relations with China.
We have to do better at being able to communicate with each other in a way that allows us to not lead to miscalculation that won't be productive in the security environment.
Defense analysts question whether the shift in focus has actually meant a strengthening of forces in the Pacific. Barry Pavel is with the Atlantic Council in Washington.
We have the deployment of 2,500 or so Marines to northern Australia. That'll be there on a somewhat routine basis. Not a very big nor significant deployment in my estimation. There's a couple of ships. I think there were literal combat ships that were discussed as being home-ported in Singapore, and there really hasn't been anything else.
The placing of a literal combat ship in Singapore, seen here during a tour by Defense Secretary Chuck Hagel last year, is one of the visible signs of that refocus. The United States has announced the aircraft carrier USS Ronald Reagan is replacing the George Washington at Yokosuka in Japan. A one-for-one swap, but one the Navy says is an element of the rebalance.
Stern Bears 167.
U.S. officials are reviewing their military commitments to allies in the region and say they could add more ships, equipment, and troops in the future. With the U.S. military facing its biggest downsizing since the end of World War II, analysts say it remains to be seen how large any future military investment in the Pacific will be. Luis Ramirez, VOA News at the Pentagon.